Hey, good evening. Welcome to Conversations with Friends, Season 3, Episode 7. And tonight we will be having a very, very much needed conversation. Um, I'm here with a nice, interesting group of individuals who I respect highly. Co-host Melodic, who's here as always. We have Professor Dreyer, and we got my guy, Teacher King Eric. What's going on, y'all?
What's going on?
Hey,
Everybody good? How's everybody's weekend going?
Going
pretty
good.
good.
All is
Can you
well?
hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Eric.
Listen, can I just cut in real quick? I don't want to be rude, but I want to bow out respectfully, right? I don't want to. I don't want to drag the cast. I got something going on right now, and though I know still how to be professional and handle my business, just some things you got to set the boundaries and priorities in, and just this happens to be a priority. So I'm gonna ask if y'all would oblige me on the next go round, which I have me again. I really want to be involved in the conversation. I think I like it. I appreciate the fact that I even was given the opportunity. But today I really got it going on, and I just got to take care of it. Is that all right?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. You're more than welcome to come back anytime.
All right, I appreciate you, man. Y'all have a blessing.
All
I'm gonna
right?
be listening. Don't think I'm not gonna be listening. I'm just not gonna be comment.
Okay. Handle your business, bro. Well, with that, you guys, appreciate Eric for joining in anyway. Um, like I said, tonight's conversation we're gonna have, and it's an interesting conversation because you have a lot of things that factor into your perception of what's going on. But we're gonna talk about the public portrayal of the black woman. The public portrayal of the black woman. And Melodic, would you like to quarterback this thing?
Yes, let's start off with some of the stereotypes that we hear about Black women. I have a list here, and guys, feel free to chime in if if you so feel the need. But one, I'd like to start off with the public portrayal of the Black woman. Um, excuse me, I did some research, and we are looked at as the angry Black woman sometimes. That is often a phrase used for us. Um, we are considered to be hostile, aggressive, overbearing, illogical, ill tempered, bitter, very very sexual, loose women who sleep with various men, who have children out of wedlock, who do not even consider marriage, as a standard as a Black woman, and the list goes on. But feel free to add to that list, guys.
Definitely. I would definitely say, always have an attitude problem, overweight, um, broken, broke, gold digger. So, broke gold digger. So I would definitely say those are the stereotypes I have heard throughout the years of being a Black woman and just what's been out there in the media or just even in your neighborhood or just what you see.
Right. And also another one I would like to speak about is baby mama, because it seems that for some people we embody that term. Okay.
Let me let me not ask that question. I don't want to get into asking questions. I want to talk about it because it's an interesting thing because when you look at those stereotypes, in any stereotype, we always try to remove ourselves if we don't particularly fit in that category of a stereotype. Do you guys think as Black women that some of these stereotypes are true, but not for the whole? Oh boy, both of y'all answer at the same time.
I think, to be honest with you, I think some of it is true because of just what this system have done to us as Black women. We can't forget that we do live in this oppressive state of United States, and what it has done to us since the beginning of time when our ancestors was violently brought here. So of course, a lot of those things are just self-preservation, coping mechanisms, and also too, misunderstanding of like the broken system, and that is perpetuating this idea of this is what all Black women are. I don't think all Black women are like that, because I feel like once you have a sense of knowledge of self, and when you do the inner work, you break those stereotypes and you break those generational curses of this is what Black women are portrayed to be.
Mm.
Okay. So I think I personally feel that we all can fall into certain categories at certain times in our lives, but I don't necessarily attribute those stereotypes to Black women, because I've seen it in all various races. So and let's think about it. We're considered to be quote unquote angry Black women, right? So let's say a certain situation presents itself, and let's say someone was disrespected or hurt, or what have you. Whether it was a Black woman, a Caucasian woman, Asian, etc. If you're angry, anger is an emotion. If you're angry, you're going to act out, or you're going to possibly represent yourself in an unfavorable light. That being said, that's not totally attributed to Black women. So it's like, stop it. Another term that is often given to us, and I look at it now kind of as a derogatory term, a strong Black woman. Because when you look at someone and you say she's a strong Black woman, that means that she doesn't need any help.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that I'm glad you used that as an example. A lot of women middle-aged women are really starting to push back on that narrative of being a strong Black woman.
Right.
And one of the things that's interesting and why this is such a dynamic conversation to have is because your reality, my reality, is that I don't know or intermingle with none of these type of women that have these stereotypes, and this is who they are.
Mm-hmm.
However, on the other hand, what I see, magazine, TV, all forms of entertainment, you have people who has taken the role of the stereotype and what's being sold to us and what we're consuming. So if I'm, for example, watching TV and I'm not a Black man, if I'm watching TV, this is what I'm going to think how Black women are. I'm going to think women are angry. I'm going to think Black women are baby mothers. I'm going to think, and it's interesting that we, for the sake of art, we'll take a role like this. Like we'll take a role. For example, one of the things that's getting so much controversy now is the animated version of Good Times.
Mm-hmm.
And so many people are upset about it. I fortunately watch the old Good Times.
Mm-hmm.
That was even more stereotypical than the original, than this new one, which is interesting because now hindsight is always 2020. Now we don't want to be portrayed in TV, music, or arts as these things that may be degrading, because that's not who we are, even though you may have those type of certain situations. So could y'all speak to that? Because that's not, when we look at the stereotypes, it's so much on our plate. That's not who we are. You, both of you are beautiful Black women who deal with beautiful Black women every day. And I can't see y'all dealing with these type of individuals that fall under these type of stereotypes.
Well, All right, I'm going to answer that question too. And believe it or not, I know some of those stereotypes. But I do. But then I know the majority of women that I know and interact with are actually women who you want to contend with, women that you want in your circle, who embody, just a sisterhood of friendship, love, and encouragement and power. Mm-hmm. However, I do know people who are, women who do embody some of the characteristics or some of the stereotypes that we did mention. Mm-hmm. And I definitely believe in each one teach one. When you know better, you do better. Mm-hmm. And if you see somebody stepping out and doing something that's not cool, I mean, let's be honest, and I'm sure when it comes to Black women and Black men, I'm sure we've all experienced this where something goes on and you see something and it absolutely rips your heart out of your chest, and it's embarrassing.
Yes.
As a race. My thing is speak on it. I'm trying to pull you up. I don't want to see you down there. I'm trying to pull you up.
Right.
And that, Drea, let me just, before you shoot your spill, if you don't mind. And that is the crazy part about it, is because, like I said, we're sold the image of how a Black woman is. For lack of better words, you guys in this chat, don't say we're Black men too. We know it's Black men too being sold the image, but the topic of the conversation is Black women. So we're seeing the image of how a Black woman is. Mm-hmm. All these stereotypes that Melodic explained. Mm-hmm. But then they're in that image. For example, they may be sold something, or they may become a brand to do something that's detrimental to the Black community. So now I'm looking up, I'm idolizing, the little girl is idolizing someone who not only is detrimental, but has sold us on an imagery that is not good for us as a people, and it's not good for us, period, as whoever you want to be as a human being. But as consumers, you guys, I'm just speaking to the consumer side. Is it our responsibility to speak out? Because when we speak out, if I be like, this particular person is degrading, she's this, she's that, she's this, she that, they'll say, oh, I'm just a man bashing a woman. It's, oh, you're just bashing a Black woman. That's the catch-22 here. Absolutely. Nobody will come to my defense and say, nah, the brother trying to, speak right. They'll say, oh, he's always tearing down Black women.
Mm-hmm. Right. And you have a lot of those, and you have a lot of those conversations. I feel like I'm gonna come from an academia and a social work lens. If you're gonna call people out, it should be on a micro level. So micro level is, I'm calling out my sister I work with, or my students, and I have called plenty of my students out of dress. You inappropriately dressed. So you think I'm gonna hire you as a nurse, as a social worker, or whatever the case is? So I constantly have to call out my students because I don't want to log onto Zoom and not see all your goods for display, right? And then, because I always believe you got gutter snipes with degrees. Just because you got a degree doesn't make you classy. Indeed. And doesn't mean that, you're taught class or even taught modesty. I was taught those things, and so I still value those things. Because once again, I'm teaching at the HBCU Afrocentric level. So I'm already got to go through so many levels of breaking those stereotypes on campus. Then I work with co-workers who think I could be collegiate and I can be in the industry. Nah, sis, you got to pick which one you're going to do. So, I just think so many times we have to start on the basic level. The meso level is that your community, having community events. But also, too, are you practicing what you're preaching? Because we can come on social media all day and say, nah, sis, you shouldn't be like this. But behind the scenes, you like that. And then on the macro level, that's globally, that's going to have to be a lot of disagreements. It's going to take a lot of us.
behind the
bring it into
scenes,
the system.
behind the scenes, you into the special effects. Huh?
Right.
So,
So you know.
so Melodic, before you make your point, let me ask you, Drea, because you know we always got to challenge each other. My daughter just came home. She's crying because you know why? Professor Drea hurt her feelings. I just paid all this tuition, and Professor Drea hurt her feelings because she was showing a little cleavage. She felt some type of way. Now she's trying to come for your paper. Now she's coming for your gig. She wants you out of, and the father wants you out of it. How do you balance that with professional? I'm trying to give you a seasoned woman pull up, or just mind my business because I am. How
I'm not going to and hopefully their parents go file a grievance because it's going to take a while. But first of all, yeah, I'm a seasoned woman and I'm going to pull up on you because once again, we all on here are going this way. Our lives are going a certain way. We getting older. We got to start grooming and educating these new generation of there's certain things you cannot do. You cannot say, you cannot do. You're going to have to navigate this world. And I don't want you to be a caregiver. You may be the dopest nurse ever, but I don't want you don't have to show off your goods because it's not, where is it getting you to? And maybe you need to be a different profession. Okay. Because you're going to be distracting people with what you're showing. That's me. Now, if y'all can come for me for that, but that's a distraction, or maybe you need to look into another profession at this point in time.
Agreed. I will say that a lot of women also feel like, oh, you know, we deserve respect. Absolutely, you deserve respect, but you also have to give someone something to respect. You can't. I can't remember. It was recently. There was a podcast. Maybe it was Corey Holcomb. I don't remember. And he was talking about someone who had on like a see-through dress, and he was like, "That's not your woman. That's everybody's woman." Because she's showing everything to everybody.
It's for the streets.
Right. And, you know, I mean, there's a certain level of decorum you have to hold for yourself. If you don't hold yourself in a high regard and you don't value yourself, that absolutely goes for our men and our women. How can you expect anyone else to value you and respect you and hold you to a higher esteem?
And that's the thing, is that I know you two young ladies personally. Y'all practice what y'all preaching. But it's interesting when you get on these social media, and I'm not saying social media, sometimes it's not real because people do stuff to troll, people do stuff just to be the contrarian. It's an interesting thing because if you say something, like a lot of times we'll scroll, y'all know we scroll through and we just want to see the comments. A young person, it could be an award show. They wear what they wear and they'll say she caught that. It's tight. She got a body, hourglass for days, no BB&L. It's all natural. But somebody will come on that post and be like, "Yo, she shouldn't be wearing it. She's showing too much." People will blast that person.
But you know what's crazy, Q? So I'm gonna say this. I will say this. People need to really discern between entertainment and social media and real life. You know, so if I go to a Beyonce concert, you're absolutely right. I expect to see her in a unitard with some fishnet stockings and some heels and doing some whatever she does to, you know, make her paper. I definitely believe in art. I don't believe in censorship, but in that instance, you got to take the good with the bad. Okay. However, I'm speaking about it bleeding over into real life. And that's where, to me, it becomes a point of contention because wait a minute, well, that's for play. What are you guys doing? Wait a minute, we don't do that.
Right. Absolutely. And like I was saying, it's a time and place for it because yes, you're going to go see a concert, you know what to expect from that artist. I don't want to see that bleed into my classroom. Because you're not going to school to be an artist. You're not going to school to be an entertainer. You're going to school to be a professional. And even now, I'm going to have to say, because when I go to the hospitals and stuff, I'm seeing the scrubs too tight. Like, sis, you got an extra medium. What are we doing here? But
I mean, that is where it puts women in a trick bag because it's like, yes, you want women to have the liberty, the freedom to express themselves, and nobody ever wants to be policing any women. Women deserve all the rights that men have, but we're different. We're different. We're different uh, human beings. Women are not men. Men are not women. That's just my personal opinion. That's coming from me. However, you're telling a young lady she can express herself, and you know that her scrubs that she wear, use an example, she don't got body for days. The other one got a body to die for. And y'all know them older women be jealous. They be like, oh, she can't be wearing that stuff with them hips around my husband. My husband working. he an orderly. He can't be saying that.
But again, it's a time and a place, Q. It's a time and a place. Yes, I don't believe in censorship in your art, in your artwork. But when we're talking about your job, you're not in the entertainment industry. Like, you're a nurse. Okay, for example, you're a nurse, you're a teacher. Oh my gosh, imagine your kid's like first grade teacher wearing like some booty shorts or something like that. Totally inappropriate. That's not real life.
It's not real life.
That's why we have rules. That's why we set standards and we have rules.
It's
unfortunate that they even have to have those type of rules at the job. But people can't tell the difference between entertainment, art, and real life.
Absolutely.
It's not her fault she got a body to die for.
No, it's not your
Some
it's not your fault that you got a body to die for, but by the right size.
Some scrubs, listen, them gray anatomy scrubs is not cut for us. And y'all know what I mean. They ain't cut at the hip area. And excuse the expression, Black women always got thick thighs. Whether you're a small Black woman or a big Black woman.
So then size up.
Huh?
Size up.
The size is going to be, but it's still, and I want everybody in the chat to understand that this is, and the reason why I'm coming with this approach is because I'm talking to two Black women who in my opinion are very conservative in their, for lack of better words, in how they dress and how they treat themselves. They're not expressing themselves like these stereotypes that Melodic explained in the beginning. But it's like a catch-22. I particularly would have a problem if my son at his age would be going to first or second grade and seeing something that I would be looking at like, whoa, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But there's a fine line between it now. Am I being inappropriate for going to the principal on this? I ain't going on him for Miss Hattie. Now I want to go on him for, Keisha, because Keisha got all these hips and
but you know what? People also have to be self-aware. And a lot of people are not really self-aware. A lot of people feel like I can do whatever I want to do. Right. But you have little children that you're teaching, or you're teaching, you're teaching college students. Imagine college. Yeah, okay, Drea, you're a college professor. Imagine having a coworker who every time you saw her cleavage was busting out of her top, and she's teaching young men in the class, women also. Hormones are raging.
I have two co-workers like that. So yeah, I have two co-workers like that. And I'm like, what are we doing?
Hello.
And then you get upset because one of these students will say something out the way. And then now all of a sudden you want to file a grievance. Oh, this student got to get kicked out the classroom. But sis, look what you were advertising.
Right.
And I have bodies too. I work on my body, but I make sure I have the right size clothing. I make sure I wear a blazer, and I do dress conservatively. And also too, if I'm out at home, because the singing school I teach at is my alma mater, I'm not out here disrespecting myself or even my significant other, because I represent him too.
Right.
And I don't want people to be like, well, that's who you choose to be with. Like,
right.
And I want no one asking me like, oh, you chose to be with him. Like, look, look how he looks. So we are representation of not just who we date, but also our family. And then sometimes I have to question people like, do y'all care about what your family, think about you and your image? But like you said, like, we live in this world in which I don't care. I can do what I want. I don't care what my family say. And I guess the family just get tired. Like, just let them do whatever. Because you do.
And if you're not careful with what you say to somebody, and all three of us know that workplace is a totally different beast.
Absolutely.
Backhand comments, water cooler conversating about anything outside of work could be misconstrued for something else. So now you got to walk around with a sweatshirt tied around your waist.
Or put on a blazer, right, Drea?
Right, on the blazer.
You got to camouflage. Especially when you have a voluptuous body. Seriously.
Yeah. And it's very interesting. Like I said, this conversation, I'm trying to, say it's the greatest conversation in the world, but it's interesting how, as consumers, we're being told. And Melodic, we did a show last year regarding this over-sexualized society. Right. Everything. Like, I remember it was a time where we only saw underwear and panties ads in magazines. Now you see them on commercials.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I had a conversation recently, right? Always having conversations. But I had a conversation recently about our Black movies. And have you noticed that the majority of our Black movies, you never see the movie without a sex scene or 2 or 3? Why is it only the Black movies that you're seeing like this just over-sexualized society? It blows my mind. Like, I don't get that. There are so many other movies that are not categorized as Black movies and they don't have sex scenes and it's an awesome movie. Give us variety.
I think as from what I've seen, I think that these writers don't have no imagination outside of seeing somebody get hit in their bussy as well, because that always got to be part of the agenda. They don't know how to write with having the love interest, and it always got to be the backdrop to every movie. It could be an action movie. Mm-hmm. They got to have a scene or something in there that has to be over sexualized, or it's some sexual tension, and then they come in with the drama, with the music, and it get a little steamy. Even if you don't see nothing, they got to make that part of what's going on. And this is what that public portrayal, like, we're just over sexualized women. Black women, just for the sake of the conversation, are just very over sexualized. All they want to do is screw.
Especially in this country, that's a huge stereotype.
Which could be the furthest thing from the truth in reality. That it's more to Black women than just being over sexualized, loud, obnoxious, baby mothers. Interesting comments that people say.
Mm-hmm. Well, even when it comes to sexualization of Black women, Sarah Bartman, look at that. They had her on display. They just took her body off of display in like the 1970s.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, come on. But she was human. Because she was voluptuous.
Yeah.
You had this woman on display like a sideshow animal.
And Melodic and Drea as middle-aged Black women. That should be one thing that Black women should be the forefronts to advocate against BBLs.
Right.
We should advocate. And I understand it
about a BBL though.
Well, Sandra, they don't look
natural. Well, they don't look natural. It actually looks. It looks so like
it does. And I mean, I'm not trying to sound gross here. I saw one in person. My old hairdresser who used to braid my hair, she had got one, and she was already a petite girl. And I was like,
your butt don't even match your legs.
It don't even match your legs. And I actually seen it too, because this girl I go to my gym. I'm like, you in the gym working on your lower body. Your thighs are like this big, and you got this big old BBL. All the health complications that you get, all those pre-op surgeries. Where y'all getting the money from and the maintenance of it? People don't talk about the maintenance and the complications of getting it. And my hairdresser stopped doing hair because Rick Ross liked her picture, and I was heated with her. I was like, "You gonna stop doing hair because Rick Ross liked your picture?"
I was like your picture because he thought you were pretty. He liked your picture because he saw your big booming booty.
Right. So it's just it's just so many things that, and then who are you doing it for? Right. And they're like, "Well, I'm doing it for my self-esteem, and I'm doing it for this." And some people that I know that she has a BBL. I'm like, but you're married too. So are you doing it for your husband? What are you doing it for? So it's, once again, the self-esteem. They think they could do mascara or cosmetic surgery to boost the self-esteem, but that's only short term.
Not to mention the fact that when you do cosmetic surgery, you may not gain weight in that area, but that weight is going to disproportionately display itself somewhere else. So if you're not in the gym and doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're going to look ill-shaped. Eventually, you're going to look like a sack of potatoes.
Very, very interesting. This is you guys in the chat, if you want to chime in. I know we have some people that's on Twitter. Twitter your comments. If you comment from Twitter, you can't. I'm not.
I'm waiting for Nicole to say something. I saw you pop up on the screen, Nicole. Thanks for supporting.
Yeah. Nicole was in the building for a minute. Her last comment was, she said, and it is sad that it's our own who are portraying Black women in a negative way. Writers, producers, etc.
Indeed.
I mean, the thing about it, and we all know that everybody needs to work. Everybody needs to provide for their family. But certain actors have never taken certain roles.
Right.
Maybe they need more pushback. Maybe in all the forms of entertainment, like when things come back, you can push back. I noticed there's one particular thing that I noticed from IG, and I love to say it. Fashion Nova. I see young ladies in Fashion Nova, they start out dressed. Within 6 months to 18 months, take it off. They just start getting undressed. And you'd be like, yo, I remember when she first started being on IG, she used to wear a lot of clothes.
Right.
And then to a point with one particular artist, and I'll call her artist for the lack of conversation, sake of the conversation, I had to unfriend her because I didn't want to see what she kept presenting. And then she opened up her mouth and said some things that I couldn't cope with. That's how far from what she started at to what she was going. And I understand that some people, you have fashion models, you have people that want to do things, and this is how people get their money. But at a certain point, you can say no.
Indeed.
Right.
All money is not good money.
Exactly.
And if you manage your money right, you'll be all right. Because even the ones that be doing it after that daggone pandemic, they all talk about they broke.
Yeah,
money ain't right. So Nicole just gave us a smiley face. She ain't saying nothing. She being quiet today. She being quiet today.
I think it also has a lot to do with knowing who you are, because if you know who you are, nobody can tell you who you are.
Absolutely.
And we see that in what's going on with social media, where everybody's being, as they say, exposed. But when you get put in those situations and you're on the come up and you're young, I'll use actors. You see it, like actors just be like, and they'll scrub your whole social media. They'll scrub your life. You get these companies that do that, and then next thing you know, they doing all types of things. As we used to say, they'll fuck for $1 and do something strange for some change.
But then now it gets on like the basic level of just like folks who's working a 9-to-5. They get tired and they doing that same perpetual thing. Like, hey, I'll do something for a piece of change, or not even change, for attention, because attention is the new currency. If I can get 500 new followers, I'll do that. Act a fool, degrade myself. And these are folks who just working regular jobs doing that.
It's an addiction. Nicole said, unfortunately, people's moral compass is broken. Okay. Everybody's moral compass is definitely different. I know the actress that had played in The Sopranos. People was upset with her because she had an OnlyFans. She said, "The hell with that! I got a mortgage to pay."
Which one was this?
The one that played Christopher's girlfriend. No, when I was snitching, she said, "I'm going." And it's funny because sometimes with actors and actresses, we tend to think like they get in the bag because they may have played in a series or a show, and you'd be like, "Oh, they got some bread. They doing this, and they might only."
They don't. A lot of them work in the restaurant industry because it gives them flexibility to go on calls and whatnot.
Yeah, so it's interesting, and I listen. This is a capitalist country that's built on capitalism and racism. So I'll say, if you want to do something to make your bread and you don't have a problem with what you want to do to make your bread, go right for it. But at the end of the day, that public portrayal of black women, it's not reality, I don't think.
No, it's not. It's definitely not reality, but we're seeing it more and more on a daily basis in the street. That's definitely something that resonates with me.
You know what's funny, and I don't want to take the conversation somewhere else. I always bug out when people get mad at with people for twerking. 35 years ago, they was doing the butt. It's the same shit. So what's the difference?
We weren't on video. How about that?
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think that's more what it is now. It's like people, when you did those type of things back in the day, it wasn't. It was there. It stayed in the club. It was more like Vegas. Was there is there. We're gonna leave it there, and it's gonna stay there.
Right. And I think because now we got social media is visible, and also too, it's a twerk challenge every other month. It's like, can we have like a reading challenge? Can you actually read and comprehend the terms and conditions you signed up for? I get sick of it as a woman because it's like that's all you see every other month. And I'm all like, let me just like clean up my stuff. And it's not even just entertainers. It's like, once again, it could be a family member. You like, I'm gonna have to like unfollow you because you're doing the most for what? And I'm always like, what's the purpose? What benefits are you getting? Is it attention? Is it someone spotting your DM? I don't know. Yes.
I gotta cut you off. You wouldn't be looking at the twerk challenge. I would be looking at the twerk challenge. But what you might be looking at is when all our older brothers, the distinguished gentlemen, come in, Mr. Still Your Grandma, when that was going on, when all the older brothers was coming in with their silver beards and they was going around. How did you like that?
Well, what they call them, the silver foxes?
The silver foxes, yeah. Were you here for that?
Your beard look nice, but I'm not. It's a certain age period of which is a cutoff for who I do.
Yeah, they was coming in. They was as we say, they was coming in suited and booted. Right. They was looking nice. How did you feel? How did you feel about that challenge?
I'm fine about that. I'm fine. And no, I'm not looking at the twerk challenge, but when I see it spill over into family members and I'm like friends with them, I'm like, I'm your cousin or your auntie or whatever. Well, thank God my niece is not doing it. But it's like, I don't want to see that. But I'm cool with seeing the silver fox. I'm cool with that, yes. Because it's like the debonair. It's like, okay, it brings me back to a time in which people dressed up.
Yeah, well, brothers was getting suited. I'm talking about them brothers. I commend them because they be looking sharp. The shoe game sharp. And you sell beard products, so they was potential customers.
Yep, exactly. And some of them probably bought beard oil from me, and I'm cool with it. But it's still like I have a boundary when it comes to certain things. But I don't see that on my timeline. But like I said, because of either I just unfollow family members. No, I'm not searching for a certain challenge.
Yeah. Hopefully Melodic will join us back real soon. But yeah, I find it interesting. Like I said, this conversation is it's almost comical, because you be like, yo, and then the next thing you know, as soon as we scroll down, you be like, what the hell? Look, see, look at Nicole. Thumbs up to the silver foxes. Yeah.
Because you want to see, but even that is like an opposite thing too, because you don't want to see any dude's pants hanging off his behind either. So it's like I welcome silver foxes with the nice outfits.
Melodic, I don't know why I can't see you, but I can see you. There we go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what was going on with my internet here in the sticks. Mm-hmm. I apologize.
Yeah, you kind of frozen, but we can hear you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
We can hear you. You just frozen on screen.
Okay.
So was you here for the silver foxes, Melodic?
I heard silver fox, and then the computer went out.
No, I was messing with Dre because she was talking about the twerk challenge that is presently going on. That was encouraged by Megan. I happen to remember when she started it, and it is transcending all across the globe. So I said to Dre, of course she wouldn't be into that challenge. She would probably be looking at the Silver Foxes when the brothers was running around, and they still do it. They tour all over the country where men of a distinguished age, they go and show how they dress and very, nice looking.
I actually love that challenge.
Oh, you love that challenge, huh?
I do because they're not walking around with thongs on.
No.
See,
they have on suits. They have on, like business casual, or they'll have on a suit, and they look very amazing.
Mm.
At one point in time in history, like we absolutely prided ourselves on looking clean, not scruffy. We would dress ourselves up, and I'm talking about men, women, and children.
Yes.
And you don't see that so often anymore. So, yes, definitely.
Mhm.
That's amazing. I love that Silver Fox challenge.
Nicole has a question for you, Melodic, even though you don't live there.
Mm-hmm.
Andre, when are they coming to Jersey?
We can set up a live podcast. We can come.
When they coming to no, not us, Drea. She talking about when the Silver Fox is coming to Jersey.
Oh, she gonna have to go to. I think they're doing like I know they was asking for Silver Foxes in California. I know they was casting for it because they cast for it. I was looking somewhere.
I know they be tried. They was just in Houston, I think, because they always pop up on the timeline. Because one of the brothers actually, he's into the health and fitness, so I follow him. They're always giving good tips with, eating right and taking care of yourself. But Melodic, let's wrap this puppy up. Do you have any final thoughts, you guys?
I'm gonna let Dre go first.
My last thoughts is truly know who you are and continuously evolve with time. Leave childish things behind. And if you're seasoned, nothing wrong with aging. You don't have to go with the culture. Nothing wrong with being modest or having decorum. And if someone does hold you accountable, that's okay. Don't get upset. Really, ask yourself like, okay, what do I need to change about self? And not, be so emotional about it. And also too, as Black women, it's okay to be soft. Because I said I broke up with being strong, stoic, and a martyr because I've seen that my whole entire life with the beautiful Black women in my family, but that's just a slow, early death that I choose not to participate in. So I'm definitely tapping into being soft and gentle and being compassionate for myself first so people can know how to treat me. Because I'm also, putting that energy out there. This is how you come when you come into my space. This is how I treat myself. So the expectation is for you to treat me the same. So those are my last words.
Melodic, I'll do the last word before you, if you don't mind.
That's fine.
Black women, you are the vessel of creation. What you put out is very precious. Also, it could be very detrimental. So don't get upset when things are being portrayed about you in a certain way when unintentionally you may not do it, but you may co-sign the behavior. A lot of our women who are falling into this category, they have a lot of talent, but they're known more for shaking their ass and doing other things than their talent. So with that, we know that social media is not always real. It's all entertainment. It's all what people want people to believe. But understand that some people consume and some people assume what they see through social media. Melodic.
Okay. I think the theme of this show is definitely recognize the difference between entertainment and real life. When you actually watch a show or or consume any format in the entertainment industry, know that that's exactly what it's for. It's meant for entertainment. It's meant to catch your attention, to keep your attention, to keep you, involved, to keep you, on the hook. So recognize that and be able to decipher between real life entertainment and have some value yourself. I think it was 50 Cent who said he actually said to Madonna, "You can't be in your 60s singing like a virgin." So just know that don't let your reputation precede you, and recognize that if you're not on the big screen and no one's paying you to be their entertainment, don't entertain people for free.
Mm.
Okay.
And with that, we conclude episode 7, season 3 of Conversation with Friends. Remember, the best way to support the channel and the show is to like, share, subscribe. Until next time, we have something interesting coming down the chute. Until next time, you guys take care and have a great week.